Hi guys, how you doing? My name is Antos, and today I wanted to do a quick little video about this camera, digital camera stabilizer. This one's made by a company called Came. I already reviewed their LED lights and their Steadicam. They really impressed me with their product, so I decided to kind of go for and check out this gimbal that they have. This is like a brand new gimbal on their website, and this one is suited for DSLR cameras. That's really all it says. And when I contacted the company, actually, if they have something for like the Blackmagic, 4K camera, or for the Red Epic, they told me that they're gonna have the camera, they're gonna have a gimbal for those cameras in the near future. Now, when exactly, I can't tell you. And as far as I'm guessing, I think it's gonna be pretty much the same thing as you see up here. Probably the only difference will be the motors will be more powerful, because that's really the only difference between a gimbal, like I said, for smaller cameras or for bigger cameras. Before I start talking any more about this gimbal, I just wanted to quickly show you a few tests I did. Now these are non-rehearsed, and so like I said, literally I just was following my subject with this, and sometimes I would stumble on things as I was walking backwards and stuff like that. But like I said, unrehearsed, just sort of running around, and it's not a professional, like a production test, but I hope it gives you guys a sense of just how well this works. So as you can see, for example, walking shots is pretty good. You can point the camera, really where you want it to, and you can adjust the settings also in the software for basically how fast you want the follow mode to camera to follow your movement. So that's one thing that like I said, it's just little settings you want to play around with. When running, as you can see, those shots are very good too. It doesn't matter how much I shook the camera, really, it produces pretty nice, smooth results. And yeah, that's about it. Anyways, this gimbal, like I said, it's under $1,000, and if you want to see like detailed price, just check out the links on my website, tomantosfilms.com. Also, I'll provide all the links there to in case you want to buy this. And it's really the first sort of a gimbal, digital gimbal in this price range that actually works. And what I mean by that is that I've tested out a bunch of actually already digital camera stabilizers, and most of them, they basically have they have a lot of little quirks and problems that really inhibit them, and they're not really production ready. This thing, like I said, it does take a little bit of time to set it up, but once you get it set up, it works flawlessly, so far at least. I've really only had one day to test it out, but as you can see, I mean, you can walk around with it, and I tested out indoors in like warmer temperatures, and I was also, like I said, right now we're outside and it's a little bit cooler here. And I know some of these gimbals before that I tested out, the IMU, the little sensor here with the gyroscopes and stuff, especially in colder temperatures, basically all the other gimbals would stop working. Whereas this one works great. Now you'll see up here, here's all the electronics. It actually uses the Alex Moss circuit board, and uses their open freeware software. So the cool thing about that is that they're constantly giving out updates on their website, and you can really modify this board to do other cool things. Like, for example, one thing that I modified is that when I got this gimbal, it stabilized, like basically the circuit board was pre-programmed, and it worked great, except it would just keep the camera perfectly level and pointing straight. So if I, for example, wanted to pan the camera to the left and right, or if I wanted to pan it up, it didn't really do that. And so what I had to go is basically install like I said, the Alex Moss circuit board software. I forgot what it's called. Anyways, and then in the software I enabled the function called the follow mode. And what that means is that now I can basically, a single person can basically, if you do quick violent motions, the camera will just stay pointing where it's pointing. But if you wanted to, for example, follow to the left, you just move a little bit more to the left, and as you see, it will smoothly transition. And then to the right, and it will stop. If you wanted to keep on turning to the right, you just keep on turning to the right. And the same thing if you want to go look up, and if you want to look down. So that's pretty cool, basically, because it allows one person to use this gimbal. Now you can, again, because it's an open source circuit board over there, so you can connect, RC, like a remote controlled, controllers. And you can enable it so one person can just run with this, for example, and that somebody else wirelessly can point the camera for you. You can even adapt this, literally just take out the handles and attach it to a helicopter if you wanted to get some aerial shots. You can do a lot of cool stuff with the software, but it does take a little bit of learning, and just sort of experimentation to get into. For me, actually, to figure out basically the settings for this, so the follow mode worked flawlessly, it took me about I don't know, like one evening, basically, maybe 5-6 hours. So that's sort of the one thing that I'm gonna warn you guys about. And also, when I got this in the mail, it didn't really come assembled. Now, the most important part, which is this whole like gimbal, basically anything below here, was assembled. And this is really the hardest part to assemble because you have to get the angles really right. So that was a good thing, was assembled, but you have to assemble the top section with these handles, and then you will have to attach the circuit board and connect all the wires. It will take you, I don't know, for me it took maybe like 3 hours to put it all together, and then, like I said, to enable the software, another evening, another 3-4 hours. So it wasn't, thing. It doesn't come ready, when you get it in the mail. But like I said, once you get it, assembled and working, then it works pretty well. Like from now, basically, whenever the only really time I have to do any adjustments is when I change out the lens, because basically when you put a different size lens, you have different weight on there, and then that might make the camera want to kind of tilt forward or backwards. And that's one thing you got to do, is you got to make sure that this gimbal is nicely stabilized, basically balanced. I mean, before you turn on the stabilizer, because you do not want the motors overheating and working too hard. That will create little vibrations. So the good thing about this gimbal is that to balance it is pretty easy, because you don't have, like, example, the MoVI stabilizer has, for example, just to move the camera up and down, has 4 screws, whereas this one you literally just have 2 screws here, up here on each side, and then you can move the camera up and down to get that balance, and then also to move it back and forth you have just 1 screw here, and then other than that you have these 2 screws here to do the roll balancing. So anyways, to find out all those details, you guys have to check out the website from the manufacturer's website on how to do all that stuff. But yeah, like I said, it's not like you just put the camera under and it automatically works. You will have to balance it. But then again, that's the same thing with every digital stabilized gimbal. And I found from at least the ones that I've tested, even having looked at the MoVI, this one's it's as easy right now as it gets. Maybe the only suggestion I can make basically for this company is in the future, maybe just I don't know, maybe that wouldn't work, but I'm thinking maybe like a little knob where you don't have to use an Allen key. Maybe just loosen a knob and you can move the camera up and down. That might work really great. So maybe that's an upgrade that they'll do. And other than that, it works really well. Now, if one thing I realized too is that these handles are a little bit short. So if I, for example, go all the way up here, you see it will block. So it's not like I can move the handles all the way around. And that's just, like I said, you can either point the handles up this way or just get a longer fiber here rod so it doesn't get in the way. But I guess this gimbal has been more designed for one person to use, so that you either enable follow mode or use a little remote control. It comes with a little controller here that allows you to basically pan the camera left and right, up and down. So you can use that too. I prefer to use the follow mode. I just find that it's, doesn't matter with this way, if I'm holding it with my hands like this, or if I'm holding it with the top handle, I can just run with it and look at the LCD and just kind of point the camera where I want it to go. Now, definitely one upgrade you probably would want to do is install a little monitor, because I did have sometimes problems looking at the the little LCD in the back. So probably install just a little field monitor here and just run like a thin HDMI cable there. So that's probably the next upgrade I'll do. Other than that, I think it's it works pretty well. Maybe another thing I would do is put some kind of a cover on the electronics. Personally, I don't like to have those electronics all exposed like this, because today it's nice and dry, but if it starts raining, for example, or if it starts snowing, I don't think this would last you very long. So you put a little, I've seen on eBay, on Amazon, you can buy these little boxes that I'm sure you could adapt it and just sort of hide the electronics in there. The one battery right now, like when I was been testing it, this is the battery that comes with it. It's a 3S LiPo battery. That battery, Phoebe, I'm sorry guys, but my dog is getting anxious. I don't think she enjoys being here in the park for this long, so let me finish up. Phoebe, relax, we're almost done. Okay, so this one battery that comes with the gimbal, it's a 3S LiPo battery. It lasts right now, when I tested that, for like just over 2 hours, but it's going to depend really, I guess, on how heavy the camera is and also how cold it is. The colder it is, the shorter the battery will last. Anyways, if you guys are in the market looking for a stabilized camera gimbal, this is the first one, like I said, for DSLRs. At least that works great. and I'm waiting till the company releases the bigger one for the Red Epic and the Blackmagic cinema camera, so I can test out that one and show you guys, you know, how well it works. And yeah, anyways, if you want to find out where to get this and all the details, and, you know, basically what it comes with or it doesn't come with, etc., and all the accessories you can buy, check out my website, tomantosfilms.com. And also over there I have you know, over 8 hours of free filmmaking tutorials. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoy this, and thank you, and I'll see you next time.